So, I just watched episode 3 of The Leftovers, like, an hour ago maybe, and it still hasn't really had time to sink in. Um, I am not even sure whether I'll be able to word this review properly, because there was something so compelling about that episode that I just watched. It was absolutely crazy. I looked at other people who've seen the show's reviews, and they all seem to agree, which is a really great thing. There are people saying that Christopher Eccleston just saved this show. There are people saying that this episode finally proved the show has something in it. And I agree with them, but I also disagree with them because I loved the first two episodes. The first two episodes were easy 10 out of 10s for me, so I'll just talk about that quickly. They built up a nice sense of atmosphere, they introduced us to the world that this is taking place in really well. Episode 3 started, and I thought it was maybe going to be a bit slower than usual, which is saying something. I mean, it's a pretty slow show. No. No. I can't even begin to describe the feelings that I have towards this episode. It surpasses 10 out of 10, you know? It gets to double that. It completely it went all out and doubled on perfection. It could have been another sort of leftovers sort of episode with a general sort of easy 10 out of 10 rating, but not really anything more to it, if they hadn't cast Christopher Eccleston in this role. He's absolutely brilliant. If you've seen him in Doctor Who, which I imagine a lot of you will have, because it's quite a popular show, just go and watch this episode and you'll be totally blown away by the difference in the two characters. At first, he may seem very similar, but his story just gradually gets more and more violent and depressed and convoluted, and it's really crazy. I am actually in awe of what this show managed to do. And I haven't seen a TV episode which has taken me through such a huge range of emotions in the space of 54 minutes, I think this episode was. At first, I was sort of neutral, you know, I was watching a show. I felt like I was watching a show. And then about half an hour in, everything just sort of elevated to a whole new level. When he, if you've seen the episode, you'll know what I mean. When he went and got the peanut butter jar. I was there were so many emotions. I was at first really pissed off that I had to watch what this guy was going through, and then I was really upset that he couldn't see that he wasn't going to manage this, and then I was immensely happy. And then there was like this scene in it, and it's set in casino, and it's generally the sort of thing that is played for laughs in movies, or is like a throwaway scene, and they make this the most intense scene in practically anything I have ever seen, and it was crazy. They just had they just so after that intensity, I was happy, you know. I probably laughed. I can't really remember, but I probably laughed out of surprise that it actually worked. And then I was really angry when what came next happened, you know. If you've seen the episode, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. The scene with Christopher Eccleston in his car. And then I was happy again, but also sort of worried because of what Christopher Eccleston's character did. I was then really happy when we started realizing that maybe this was actually going to work. Then, just before it was going to work, something happened, and I was like, And then it looked like there was hope again. No. No. I'm never gonna trust this show again, to be honest. I mean, Uh, you guys have to watch this show. I mean, if you watched the first 2 episodes and really hated them, I don't blame you. I can understand why you hated them, but I guarantee you will love this episode. I've looked at the reviews. This has had crazy ratings. It's the highest of the series so far. It has a 9.1 out of 10 score on IMDb, which is pretty good. That's getting near the top end of where Lost episodes were rated out of 10, and the mid-range sort of episode, sort of where Game of Thrones is rated on IMDb. Breaking Bad hardly ever gets to 9.1 out of 10, so, like, you really need to watch this show. It's absolutely crazy. Christopher Eccleston, I really hope he gets an Emmy nomination for this show, because he really deserves it. He only had one line in each of the first 2 episodes, but Jesus Christ.